Here I go. I've pressed the trigger and here we go live. Welcome, everybody. What a joy it is to be with you on this lunar eclipse day here in New Zealand. Most of you in the rest of the world are building up to the lunar eclipse time. And we've got this really big month ahead of us. A big month at the end of a very big year. So this felt like an important day to be live with you, my beautiful soul family. An important day where together, with the eclipse being in Gemini, is what can we learn from this year? What have you learned? Because a lunar eclipse is always, it's a full moon, a powerful full moon. And as it's in Gemini, it's asking you, what have you learned from this year? What have you learned personally? And what are you learning now as your part in this humanity's awakening? How can we come together more? What do we need to learn about the Gemini energy, the opposite sides? One person feels this, one person feels that. You look at politics generally, it's pretty much divided. It's 50-50. So all these different perspectives coming together in a soup. Looking back at this year, which started out on January the 12th, which many astrologers felt was a really auspicious time with Pluto and Saturn coming together in Capricorn one time only. Very often Saturn goes over a planet 2 or 3 times, but this was one pass. So really strong. The year started out with a very strong energy of like, oh my goodness, almost an ominous energy of what could this possibly mean? What does it mean as far as authority, control? What does it mean as far as this is concerned? So we started on that note this year. And now we come to the last month of this year. And the intensity has been building, hasn't it? It's like this, whoa, this intensity, and you're having to learn. I don't know about you, but I feel as though I'm having to learn to take in more. How can I expand to take in more? And we're in Sagittarius time now. We're building up to a solar eclipse in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. How can I take in more? What more do I need to learn? Can I expand my lung capacity to breathe more? Can I expand my heart capacity to love more? Can I expand my brain capacity to think more? These are the questions to really ask yourself as we build up. Eclipses now, and we're building up to this super, super duper important date of the 21st of December, where Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius, and we have a really huge shift point. Thank you, Lucy, for being online. I feel so lucky to have you with me. Thank you. It's late at night where you are, and she's just at the drop of a hat. I'll call her and I say, Lucy, I'm going live. Can you? And she's just like, if she can, she'll be there. So thank you, Lucy, for always going the extra step, for being more there and more available, even when it's not easy. What is really happening this month? Let's look at it. So we're building up now as all the planets are direct, except for Uranus. Uranus goes direct in the middle of January, but all the planets now have got this forward momentum. There's a push to move forward. Mars isn't retrograde anymore. None of the big ones, except only Uranus retrograde. So what does this mean? It's really about just saying, I'm going forward. I'm going forward. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to plan and prepare best I can. And I'm still going to move. It's a bit like when I do these live streams, to be honest with you, it's a co-creation. I certainly look at the astrology and I have an idea of the kinds of things that I'd like to communicate with you. But always when we are together, dear soul family, we're creating something. We're mixing the soup. We're coming together and we're looking for a new perspective, new interpretations of what the astrology may mean to us as we move into this different consciousness. And I feel that as the astrology is moving to this Aquarian age and the Aquarian energy, especially of this month, where we have the end of an 800-year period, that Aquarius is about us all coming into the soup together. And yet, here is one of the big points I want to make about the Aquarian energy, because I'm not sure that enough is being said about this when I was meditating on it. As much as the Aquarian energy is about collaborating and working in teams, and more of a horizontal energy of things being fairer, the Capricorn energy is very much the governments tell us what to do and we have to be the loyal servants and do what we are told. Now we're moving more to this lateral energy, which is this energy of getting together. Yeah, ooh, what can we create together? What we must remember about the Aquarian energy is you must bring out your individual streak. Your oddness, your eccentricity, that is vital to the pot. Not your conforming, not your saying yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir or madam, but this is how I do it. I paint my hair green, my toenails, I mixed up hair and toenails, doesn't matter. But it's about bringing that weirdness in you out. Robin Williams, the wonderful actor who certainly channeled all sorts of ET things, he said, you're only given a little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. Don't lose it. The Aquarian energy needs your unique touch. Each person has got something that is different. You've got something that's different to you. Feed it. Let it blossom. Let it grow. That is the Aquarian energy that must be expressed, because if we don't have all those quirkinesses, those oddities, yeah, Alexander, the soup would be too bland. So what spice are you bringing to that soup that nobody else can bring but you? And that's why Aquarius, this energy of Uranus, is about often rebellion, saying, I'm not doing it your way, I want to do it this way. But in that rebellion, this is not about fighting one another, but it is just joining one another and welcoming those different frequencies. It's a bit like in music. If certain notes are being omitted all the time, it's bland, it's boring. But if you get all these various sounds coming together, we create new music together. We create new astrology together. We create a new economy together. Without those new perspectives that each one of us has got to give, we move more slowly into this new consciousness. But now everything's moving direct. We can move more quickly with that awareness. So what are the strange things you like to do? Come on, guys, let's share. What are the strange things you enjoy? April, thank you for joining today. Delighted you're here too. Lucy, thank you for being here. Each one, what's the flavor you bring? What flavor do you feel you are? Are you spicy? Are you sugary? Are you tart? What do you bring? Yes, each one. What color do you bring? Yes, and you might change those colors. That's the nice thing about the Aquarian energy. You see? The teddies, they all bring a different flavor. What do you bring? All right. These are just things to think about. And I love this quote by Mark Twain, who says, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to reform. Maybe to pause and to reflect. And that, if ever there could be an Aquarian message as we step into this new energy, that's something to think about. Where are you in the majority? And is that really how you feel? Or are you just going along? Because there is a certain inertia that is easy enough to step into. Yeah, it's a certain inertia of it. Well, the Uranian energy doesn't allow for that inertia. So this total solar eclipse that we have coming up on December 14th, I'm going to do a separate video about it as well in the next day or so. In Sagittarius, 23 degrees. I am not getting into politics. What I am going to share is that this total solar eclipse falls exactly upon the moon of Donald Trump, and he was born at the time of an eclipse. And this is a lunar eclipse. And I am anticipating that there is going to be much more coming out around Donald Trump, around this situation, and that this eclipse most likely will trigger a lot more things. I would suggest that Donald Trump is not going to somehow disappear anytime soon. Whilst he may not be the next president of the United States, I would imagine that this eclipse, because it is opposite to his natal sun, is going to bring about some major changes in his career direction, in what he's doing. But nonetheless, it still looks like he's going to be on the stage somewhere, bringing things out into the open. So, that being said, as controversial as that might be, I didn't want to be controversial. I just wanted to show you that the astrology, when there are exact degrees, often really is a very big game changer. Now, what is noticeable as we move into this next eclipse is how much fire energy there is. Yeah. You're right, Simone, Trump is a Gemini and his moon is in Sagittarius, and it is moon that is affected. Love that, Brenda. If we're all thinking the same thing, then someone is not thinking. Love it. So we've got much more of a fiery energy coming. Mars in Aries, the Sun, Moon, Mercury in Sagittarius. This is an uplifting energy of hope, of inspiration, of possibility. I don't want to make light of the fact that many are suffering deeply at all. Because again, we're all in this soup together. We're all in it. And there's this sense that things are now moving on. Something is going to break through. And once we've broken through this whole energy, there's something amazing appearing on the other side. It's like we're hatching out of an egg. We've been enclosed in a certain egg, very big egg. And some of us are poking our beaks through the shell and exposing some light and something different. And when I think of Sagittarius, I think of the ETs. I think of that monolith that they found in Utah that suddenly has disappeared. Lucy, I don't know if you want to put a link to that in case people want to know, or maybe you've already heard about it. So April, thank you. Fire and air, yes, anticipating a magical hot air balloon ride. So we're moving now into this energy of Aquarius and Sagittarius. Aquarius, the odd man out, liking to be odd and quirky. And Sagittarius, far-reaching, far-thinking, the spiritual journey. What is very interesting is that we're in this energy of endings, completings, because from the 7th to the 17th of December, Saturn is at 29 degrees of Capricorn, that very last degree. And it's in rulership, so it's kind of hanging on there. So we're seeing certain governments, certain authorities hanging on to power, hanging on to certain controls. And as we release into, on the 21st, well, there's things happening before, sorry, on the 17th, Saturn goes into Aquarius. On the 18th, the Sun goes to 27 degrees of Sag, which is the Galactic Centre, the centre of our galaxy, if you like. So this is all powerful downloads, powerful information coming to us, powerful help coming from other spheres, from the Pleiadians for sure, and from all kinds of places there is help. We've also got the square with Neptune going on. Neptune in Pisces, and this squaring energy of the nodes in Sag and Gemini. And interestingly enough, the one mutable sign that is missed out is Virgo. We've got all this energy of Gemini, Sag, the nodes, the eclipse. Neptune in Pisces, testing your faith, testing you and saying, can you still have faith, even though you don't know maybe who to trust, who to listen to? Can you still hang in there? Hang on to your dreams, don't let them go. Might be difficult, might be choppy, we might be on choppy waters. But keep holding one another, keep caring for one another. And then the missed out mutable sign, which is often magnified because of the fact that it's not there, has to do with healing, has to do with health, has to do with valuing our health in new ways. So many healers, so many energy healers coming forward, so many power healers, channelers. And the merging going on between the Neptune in Pisces And these Aquarian energies, the merging of science and spirituality. Not one or the other. Not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but saying, hey, we're all in this together. Let's play together. Let's come together. How can we heal ourselves, heal our planet? The Virgo energy. What are we exaggerating? With the Sagittarius energy, there is a tendency to exaggerate. Where are you going to extremes? Where in your life are you going over the top with something? Where are you becoming obsessed with something? Where do you need to bring it just into you? Maybe your aura is just right out there, and you need now a very important time with all this fire and air and upward energy. You may be bringing in a lot of information, but it's important to ground yourself, to center yourself. Anything that you can do, even massaging your feet, putting your feet in hot water, walking on the grass or the beach or the sand, if you can, and it's not too cold, and even if it's cold, doing it too. What grounds you? What centers you? And to remember to do that at this time. I feel so blessed. There's such Sagittarius has to do with this generosity of spirit, and I feel that you are all so generous being here online, watching, contributing, each one of you making comments. You're in the chat, you're making comments afterwards. But yeah, we're merging. Neptune is all about merging, but not losing yourself in the merging. So Neptune in Pisces is encouraging us to have compassion, to open our hearts and to feel the oneness that we are. And the Aquarian energy is saying, and bring out your individuality within the oneness. That's the challenge that the astrology is giving us at this time. December the 23rd, we've got a square with Mars and Pluto, so this is quite intense energy. It can be quite volatile energy. There may be issues around power, control, manipulation, who's in charge. All those kinds of things may be coming up. And what I find very significant is that at the end of the month, at the end of December, 29th, 30th, depending where in the world you live, we end the year as we began the year with an eclipse in Cancer. We end the year with a full moon in Cancer. And I think we may have had no idea at the beginning of the year what that might have meant in the sense of a world family, because Cancer is about family. A full moon is showing us not only should the holidays be celebrated with your immediate family, sure, but let this not be a time of great loneliness anymore. Let this be a time of where we can come together and feel that global family, which I feel when I'm online with you. April, thank you. Lucy, thank you. Drew, thank you. These are my moderators who help. Thank you to so many of you who reach out with uplifting emails. You support on Patreon. You give in so many different ways. I'm so blessed with the family that we are. And now I find myself in a new family. Having taken the leap to come to New Zealand, thinking that before long I'd find a little place to live in that would be a place that I would rent for a while, but no, I'm part of a family now. And it happened quite out of the blue. beautiful South African couple who you've met, dear Rochelle and Eckhart. And of course, dear Bonnie, who is sleeping here. Bonnie, are you sleeping? She's sitting having a little nap underneath my chair. Quite happy there. So I found a family here unexpectedly. How can we expand out into family more and more? And this full moon at the end of the year, I feel, really reminds us not to exclude anybody, even if they are eccentric, even if they've got funny colored hair, even if they speak funny, if they look funny, if they smell a little funny. Whatever it is, can you open to more of your family and the richness of that family? Michelle, thank you. Sending soul family love. Thank you for coming together here. I feel extremely honored to be in your presence. This is a wonderful month now for setting some new intentions. We've got a new month. We've got a new year about to come. Nick, thank you very much. So new possibilities, new intentions that you can begin to set. We're releasing the somewhat heaviness sometimes of the Capricorn energy. Now, Pluto is still in Capricorn until 23 to 24. So likelihood is that we are still going through a lot of restructuring during this time, restructuring of power, restructuring of authorities and governments and economies and corporations. But gradually, as we move into 2021, and particularly from around about February, March onwards, the aspects do get a little lighter, a little easier. We've still got certain challenges that we're facing. But if we can use, especially the end of this month, December, this focus upon how can we make our world a family that feels connected, where nobody feels lonely, where nobody feels abandoned or rejected or left out, and that everybody feels valued and connected and loved. Cancer ruling the breasts and the stomach and the food. So I'm very interested to hear what your feedback is, very much for you to begin to think about what is my unique contribution here. Where am I hiding my light under a bushel? And where do I just need to, just come out of that box? I wish I had a jack in a box here. I'd love to just go jack in a box and just have it pop out. Where do you need to just pop out and not care, because Aquarian energy does not give a hoot about what anybody else thinks. Not at all. A couple of quotes I found. Why would I want to fit in? Why do you even want to fit in? Someone else's quote, sorry, I don't remember who it is. I'd rather be a freak than a clone. So it's time to be different. Encompass your differences. And again, another little Aquarian type quote here for you, just that I will finish upon, is by one of my favorite authors, A.A. Milne, Winnie the Pooh. One of the advantages of being disorganized is that one is always having surprising discoveries. So if you can think of Aquarius as the mad professor, the sort of madness who discovers, wow, what about this? What about that? So, yeah, of course, the Capricorn energy brings us down to earth with some of the difficulties we're facing, but the more that you can keep your frequency calm, and connected and grounded, the more you're helping everybody else. All right, just know now that we are this one big family. And the more that you raise your frequency, the more you help people right across the other side of the world, everywhere. Room to mind, you're so different, you don't know how to make that a thing. Well, don't think about making it a thing. Just start expressing some of that oddness. Start finding ways to express it. Wave your freak flag, yeah? Because that's what a lot of this has been about, accepting the differences. Because we're always going to have differences. And if we can embrace them and still say, even though you believe that, or you do this and that and the other, we're still part of the same family. So I want to thank Lucy very much for being online today. I want to thank April for being here, all of you for being here. Teddy's are very grateful. I'm going to see if she's going to come up here. Come here. Thought she might like to say hello to you here. She's just got woken up from a little sleepies, haven't you, darling? So here she goes. You're going to say hello to everybody. So thank you, dear family. And remember, all is on our family. Our beautiful animal friends are part of our family. The trees, the flowers, nature. Let's embrace it all. Thank you very much for being here today. And much love to you all. Thank you.